radio show, this would be that radio show. Bo Bishop, a man of fine taste and Montana class.
My wife will try and drag me to like an Easter brunch buffet, and I don't even like that because I don't like everybody standing over food I'm going to eat.
Friends with the highest intellectuals.
We found out the hard way. We have white furniture. That's all I'll say.
What a mess.
Oh, God. Holy
Literally.
An athlete, coach, husband, and father.
That drives me nuts. My kids are, I'm him. Shut up. Kidding me? You're 9. You're not him. I don't even know what the hell that means.
And two guys who are considerable downgrades from a former football player.
You were saying the Olympics wasn't interesting you yesterday. Well, can I offer you 50 seconds of interest?
50 seconds of interest is a similar pitch I make to my girlfriend on a nightly basis.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Bo the boys with you for the next 3. Tyvis Powell is in studio with us. Reese, of course, is here as well. It is a Hey Guys First Friday. We'll get to that at 11 o'clock. 10 o'clock, we will do a little higher or lower. Jake Trotter on the college football side of things. He was in Eugene. Get his firsthand take of what he saw between the Bucks and the Ducks last Saturday night. In addition to that, of course, we had a wild trade for the Cleveland Browns yesterday in the trading of Amari Cooper. Does that mean that they are pushing in the chips? An emotional plea from Nick Chubb as well, just this morning that we'll get to on the program as well. But I did want to start with what happened last night at Nationwide. And I think this is all of the negative things that you can say about the Columbus Blue Jackets in my time around the operation since 2007. They haven't won enough. Full stop. That's it. Everything else, they are the best at. They are the best at. I'm talking about the way that they treat people. I'm talking about the way that they treat their fans, the way that they treat us. I'm talking the quality of human being that works there. I'm talking about guys like Todd Chirac or J.D. Kershaw who've been around forever and we've known forever, and guys behind the scenes that do the right things. And I think last night was a prime example of the way that organization carries itself with the level of class that I think many others ought to aspire to be. That was as tough a needle to thread as you could possibly thread last night. When you think about a home opener that also served as a memorial, as a tribute, when you think about the fact that a player who was acquired to play with Johnny Gaudreau takes the puck drop and flicks it to his left and an open spot where Johnny would have been, and you think about oh my God, that is what they're doing here. And you think about every single thing that went into that. It was all pitch perfect, all of it. It was emotional. My God, was it? It was inspirational. Absolutely. The way that they did everything last night was as first class as you can be. And it is something that, having worked with other organizations in other markets, in other states, in other things, there are a lot of organizations who do the little things wrong. And maybe they get some of the winning right. They might. Some of them probably do. The Columbus Blue Jackets do all of the little things right. And last night was a big, big spot. The hockey world watching, all of these fans watching. My God, Johnny's family, his beautiful wife, his beautiful young children, his mom, his dad, all of it. And to do it the way that they did it was flawless. It was flawless. I don't know how the hell you play an athletic endeavor after that. I don't. I cannot imagine the emotion of it. You're going to hear from Dean Evison. You'll hear from Sean Monahan about trying to process that. I don't know how you do. I don't know how you go from the grief and reliving the absolute torture and hell that day has been, and what that must continue to be every single day for his family. I don't know how you do that and then drop a puck and play one of the most violent, physical, fast-moving sports that's ever been invented. I don't know how you do that. I can't speak to that. We'll let them speak to that. But in terms of getting the stuff right last night, and it was a bunch of little things that led to one big thing and one critical thing, they crushed all of it. Reese, you've been in this town a long time. I know you watch the Jackets closely. My eyes were not dry. I had basketball practice, and then I had it on DVR. I stayed off of everything, and I just went into my office by myself, and I just watched it, everything that they did, and I thought it was pitch perfect.
Yeah, it was something to where you didn't, I had no idea what to think going into it. And then as you see everything unfold They cut to his family. I think once the jersey went into the rafters, then I got a little misty eyed. And this was it was on a television screen for me. And I do think it's a great credit not only to the organization but to everybody within the Blue Jackets community. You know, with the front office staff, the fans. You know, it was a sellout last night. Like you thought it was going to be, but to your point of them doing all of the little things right, I think it's a great testament to the support that's been given for this organization from the Blue Jackets fans.
Yes.
I think it was all just one big hockey hug last night. As we're all trying to support each other, and everybody was there for each other, and it was really wonderful to see the fight from this hockey team for all of that support going into what I cannot imagine being go to work. After all of that, after everything with the ceremony, after the 7-13 puck drop from the time they don't put a left winger out there and the faceoff goes into that empty space, it's like, okay, now go to work. It was incredible, and I've never been prouder to be a fan of an organization, really a fan of everything, because everybody watching, everybody in the arena felt part of it in a way they haven't before.
I couldn't agree more of the association and the pride, all of it. I thought Mirzi and Jody were incredible. I thought everybody in the pregame and postgame were incredible. Everybody in the building was incredible. You thought you were through it, and you took one hit after another, and you see all of it. And then when they leave the left wing open and Monahan hits it over there, you get hit again. Tyvis, you're a professional athlete. You played at the highest level. How do athletes compartmentalize that? How do you play a sport? God almighty. I mean, football and hockey have so much in common, too, in terms of
physicality and all of those things.
And the pace.
I tell you what, I applaud those players because I don't know if I could. You know, it's been times that even in football, like just seeing somebody get hurt and carted off, like the feeling that every player on that field feels is like, I don't really want to play no more. Like, it's hard to play after that. To honor a guy, you know, who was essentially the star, your best player on your team, and he's not there, and then to go through all of that, like, it's so hard. But I think the only way that you can get through it is that I want to win it for him. I want to really, truly finish this honoring by going out there and playing as hard as I can for him. And I seen one of the players in the post game say, you know, after seeing all of the things, you know, the 13-second video or the slap shot to him, everybody wearing his jerseys, they said that Johnny would be proud. Johnny is looking down and he's proud right now. And I thought when I read that, I was like, yeah, it's I'm not even an emotional guy like that, you know, but that right there, that touched me a lot. So, you know, I really do applaud those players for being out there and going as hard as they can. Obviously we'd like to see them have won the game, but like, that's a lot to ask out of a lot of people in that moment, you know, to go see all of those things, deal with all those emotions, and then go out there and win a game and be locked in like that. That's a lot. But I just applaud them for playing as hard as they possibly could to try to win that game. And, you know, I think that hopefully they can honor him this season by winning some more games.
They didn't get the win, but it was as winning an effort as you could give from start to finish. I think the player you're referring to is Sean Monahan. Sean Monahan played with Johnny in Calgary. He came here to play with his buddy again.
Yep,
but bigger than that, he came here to raise his family with Johnny.
Yes, I read that too.
So that is what this was about last night. So Sean, Metz is interviewing him last night. Here's Sean Monahan and then he scores the goal and points to the rafters. Like, come on, man. It was pretty storybook. Here's Sean Monahan on trying to process everything that occurred last night.
Yeah, no, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I'll reflect on it probably tonight and in the future, but I mean, it means a lot for his family, his wife, his kids, the way they honored him here, and I mean, the whole league. I mean, Florida Panthers behind the ceremony there, showing their support. It means a lot.
I think Dean Evison was on with Juice this morning. The guys did a great job with him. I thought him last night was extraordinary. I thought he was extraordinary. I mean, he did not know Johnny. He didn't. I mean, he's new to the job. He didn't know it, but you could see it on his face. He was asked post-game about how the team handled the emotions of the evening. Here's what your head coach had to say.
Our group, the players, just handled it exceptionally well, obviously. Man, it was tough, and I can't imagine knowing them as well as they did. And to handle how they handled it, and then to go play a game against the Stanley Cup champions and play that game very well. Would we want the 2 points? Of course, but yeah, very proud of our team.
Yeah. This is going to be, it's going to be omnipresent, guys. This isn't going anywhere. His jersey, Monahan's doing his interview. His jersey's right over his left shoulder while he's doing the interview. They're taking the jersey with them on the road this season. They're going to hang it in an empty stall at every arena they play. I think it's going to be very challenging. I think it'll be inspirational at times. I think it will be heart-wrenching at times. I think the grief will be something you carry with you. And I just have I just got a ton of respect for the guys who laced up skates last night. The people in that organization who did that pitch perfectly. Dean Evison and the way that he's guided this, Don Waddell as well. These guys are new to the job. They didn't know Johnny the way that a previous regime knew him. This is a new regime in terms of the decision makers there. Obviously, JD's still around and Rick Nash is still around, and they have big voices in the organization. But this is a new group, and I think in impossible circumstances where, boy, anything less than perfect is a failure. I thought they were pitch perfect last night. Aaron Portzline was there, has been on the Jackets beat since day one. When you talk about stuff like this, you want to do it with Porty. He'll join us coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're known for three things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
I'll be honest, I'm really worried about my kids and grandkids. I never thought we'd be facing a national abortion ban in this country.
That's Kim. She lives in Cincinnati and is a grandma to 6.
If something happened to my family, I'd want them to have all the help they need. But with a national ban, they'll have nowhere to turn.
Bernie Moreno supports a national abortion ban, and he has said he is 100% against abortion with no exceptions. And if Moreno's in the Senate, he could be the deciding vote to pass a national abortion ban.
Last year, we voted to protect abortion in Ohio. Now, Bernie Moreno wants to get rid of that completely. It's simple. I don't trust Bernie Moreno to do what's right for my family. He should never be Ohio's senator.
Your Community PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Your Community PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Learn more at yourcommunitypac.org.
At Baths R Us, we're terrible roofers. We stink at installing siding. And don't ever call us for your kitchen remodel. But if you want a stunning, beautiful bathroom makeover in just 2 or 3 days, now that's when you want to call us. See, unlike most contractors these days, we offer only one service: bathroom remodeling. We don't spread ourselves thin by doing roofing or siding and a bunch of other stuff. Nope. At Baths R Us, we dedicate every company resource into mastering the craft of bath transformations. It's why we're the Midwest's biggest 5-star family-owned bathroom company. And it's why we have the happiest customers. Just check out our Google reviews. Baths R Us. We're terrible roofers, but we're awesome bathroom remodelers. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate, or go to bathsrus.com. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown, dumb since day one. The Fan.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. Is it time for a new or used car? Visit Tansky Sawmill Toyota on the corner of Sawmill and 161, home of the Tansky Promise, where our salespeople aren't paid on commission. We have a 72-hour exchange policy, and every transaction is upfront and transparent. You can even start the process at home. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com to start your purchase today and to see all of this month's specials. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
Hey guys, it's D. Miller. If you're not feeling upbeat like you used to be, it could be low testosterone. That's right, it affects our moods. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. But we're not all the same. So don't go for TRT referred to as a standard dosage plan. Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan, like you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. They provide advanced therapy and have over a decade of experience. So go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
Just how liberal could Sherrod Brown be? What are his actual votes?
Well, he backed bills to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports and let transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms.
Very liberal.
Brown supported allowing children to receive puberty blockers and even sex change surgery.
Super liberal.
And worse, Brown even voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions, a procedure where the baby is partially delivered alive. That's right. Brown's votes for partial birth abortion are in the congressional record. And Sherrod Brown voted to allow this terrible procedure not once, not twice, but 6 different times over 8 years.
That's radical liberal.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's just way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It is a cold start to your Wednesday morning, everyone. Good morning. If you are just now waking up, temperatures are around freezing out there. Sunny with a high of 55 today. Tonight, it gets even colder, going 33 here in Columbus, but outside of Columbus, you'll drop down to below freezing. Tomorrow, sunny skies with a high of 62. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
The best hair on the air. You are listening to Bishop and Friends.
Well, when I talk Jackets, I like to do it with my good buddy Aaron Portzline. He's been on the beat since day one. Covers the Jackets for The Athletic. He joins on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. I had youth basketball last night, buddy, and then I had it DVR'd, and I went into my office and I watched it by myself, and I just sat in silence and I just can't. What was it like in the building?
You know what? Like, obviously nobody knew that nobody in the stands knew what they were going to do in leaving the left wing position open. I think at first people were looking down thinking, do they have enough skaters out there? That's really weird. And then when the officials skated in for the puck drop, you could hear like audible gasps in the crowd. I mean, people kind of stopped cheering to sort of pay witness to what was happening. I think where it pushed it over the edge for people was when Monahan basically touched the puck over to the left wing where Gaudreau would have been, and perhaps was in spirit, and the puck sat there, right? And then people were fully, obviously this is what this is, and pretty moving stuff, even for guys on the bench that knew that it was coming, and coaching staff as well.
I said this off the top of the show, buddy. I said about the only thing that I can say negative about that operation is that they just haven't won enough through the years. But everything else, they crush. They've got so many great people. And this was a moment last night where anything less than perfect is...
Yeah, right.
It's the toughest needle to thread, Porty.
Yeah. You know, I've been thinking a lot over the last couple of weeks here, like just what you said, like there is so much love for this organization. It's really hard to explain to people because we equate support with winning. Obviously, that's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
But there's so many people who love this organization for what it is to them, not just what has occurred or hasn't occurred on the ice. And that's never been more apparent, I think, than during this stretch here. You're right. Like that last night was incredible. Really, the way that they have handled all of this, and I give the Gaudreau family, especially Meredith, Johnny's wife, so much credit because that incredibly difficult eulogy to watch and to listen to really set them free to feel like they could find some purpose in hockey without having to feel guilty about getting to do what Johnny Gaudreau can no longer do. It's really released them to find a purpose to all of this. And I mean, between Don Waddell, the coaches, and obviously the players, the atmosphere in that building has not been one of doom and gloom. It has been a very powerful, unbreakable approach to this, and it's been more beautiful and less depressing than I could have imagined.
You think about Don and Dean, they're new to this. They didn't acquire him, 100%. And they didn't know him well. And, this is a build that they're trying to oversee, and then they get the most cruel curveball you can ever be dealt. Just in terms of their steady hand through all of this. I mean, these are veteran guys, right? They've been, and you can feel it. I mean, I'm listening to you guys question Dean last night post-game going like, good Lord, like this guy, thank God it's this guy, because you need to have somebody like that to handle all of this.
100%. And what Don Waddell, the GM, is new to this situation, obviously. He's not new to this, unfortunately. He was the GM in Atlanta many, many years ago when they had a car accident involving one of their players that killed another one of their players. Daniel Snyder,
Heatley.
Sorry. Yeah, Danny Heatley was the driver. Dan Snyder was the victim. So he has been through this sort of shock trauma before, and beautifully. I mean, you do find some incredible moments in this type of tragedy that literally the day that Gaudreau's unfortunate, tragic death, along with his brother, became public knowledge, that Snyder family, the parents of the player who was killed in Atlanta, wrote to Don Waddell personally, like, if anybody can guide a team through such a tragedy as this, it is you, Don Waddell. And I know he took incredible strength from that as well. You'll take all you can get in a time like this. Dean Evison has been incredibly poised. This is a tough son of a bitch as a player, and yet there is a very tender heart within him. He has really been a driving force in keeping Gaudreau's name up, his jersey up, him in the middle of conversations. They don't avoid conversations. When they played pre-training camp clips to This Is Our System, they showed Johnny Gaudreau clips within those film clips. Like, they're not trying to act like he's not here and has never been here. They're embracing the fact that he was here, and they're trying to live as though he still very much is.
Talking to Aaron Portzline at The Athletic, covers the Jackets, been there since day one. Okay. Now go play hockey, right?
Right.
How you've played three. I do want to ask you about the style, because I think it's a drastic difference in what we've seen before and all of that. But how do you suppose this team handles? How do they go? What is this season like? How do you play? Tyvus and I were talking in the first hour, and he said, in the NFL, like, when a guy gets hurt, like, none of you even want to play. You want to stop the game, when you see one of those catastrophic injuries. So, like, this is going to be omnipresent all year. How did they manage that? Yeah.
Well, I think what we've seen so far, and last night was such a different event, it kind of has the parentheses around it in my mind. Because of all the workup, because of what it meant to so many people. The Blue Jackets, they're off today. They better be off today, because there are some emotionally spent guys there. I think if you look at the first two games, and I think you're going to see similar on Thursday, if they have found a way to make it their job to play hard and to play well because of Johnny Gaudreau, not in spite of his loss, but because of who he was. That's the feeling that I get. And you're seeing it's a system that encourages energy, aggressiveness. It's a system that many of these guys love to play. Zach Werenski looks like he's completely freed on the ice. Like, there's no overthinking. We've seen some young players really, really start to bloom. And I think we've talked about this before. So if you get through this season and you take the lumps that I think everybody expects they're going to take, but you emerge with 3 or 4 real blue chip young players who look like impact players, then this will have been a beneficial season. And the early signs, especially with Kent Johnson, are there that you may really have some special talent that's beginning to bloom.
I mean, I just like how it's a clean slate. Kent Johnson on penalty kill. I mean, even last night he gets a shorty to silly. Like, okay, like these guys are kids. They're 21. I mean, they're playing. I mean, this is what Jacket fans have been waiting for. And it's 3 games, and but I'm excited for the way that they're going about their business, Porty.
100%. Yeah, and the Johnson thing reminds me of years ago when Hitch took over and put this goal-scoring kid named Rick Nash on the penalty kill, and all of us wise asses in the seats watching practice were snickering and thinking, this guy has no idea who Nash is. Like, wait till he sees this. And old scouts are texting going, hey, I'm seeing, is Nash really on the penalty kill? Seriously? And lo and behold, Rick Nash became one of the NHL's best penalty killers. It really brought a seriousness and a completeness to his game that today he points to as being the sort of the driving factor in his elevation. And Kent Johnson, listen, he played a grand total of 18 seconds on the penalty kill before this season, total, which basically means he's coming on right at the end of penalty kills. They wouldn't let him anywhere near the penalty kill. And this guy comes in and says, you're going to probably play more on the penalty kill than any of our forwards. That's what's happened the last couple of games. And that shorthanded pass off his backhand to Sillinger last night was incredible. And that's just one example of the guys that have bloomed. But Ken Johnson has absolutely embraced this.
First thing I did this morning is read what you wrote. It was beautiful, brother. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, always a pleasure, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, the great Aaron Portzline covering the Blue Jackets Athletic on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. From the poignant and the beautiful to you're trading who, when, and for what? We'll get into that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Oh, hi, fellow hockey fan. Did you know that it's Blue Jackets week? Of course you did. Proud to be your home for the Jackets, The Fan.
Men, if erectile dysfunction is affecting you, getting treated could have a dramatic impact on your relationship and your outlook on life. But it's also important where you get treated because your health matters. And working with an organization that practices excellent medicine and has significant expertise in men's sexual health can often result in a far better outcome. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're seeking a quality provider to treat your ED or are just not satisfied with your current situation, call us. We'll show you a true 5-star experience and work with you to find the right treatment for your specific medical situation. At Tri-State Men's Health, we truly are experts in men's sexual health. But it's more than that. Unlike the online pill pushers or so-called men's clinics that only offer one or a few treatment options, we offer the full spectrum of ED protocols. We can even use combinative therapies for better results. At Tri-State Men's Health, your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers, the people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
The Jackets are back in Nationwide for a battle with the Sabres. Live band coverage starts Thursday night at 6:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Your flagship home for Blue Jackets hockey. The Fan.
Welcome, Columbus, to the all-new Toyota Direct. We've expanded our showroom, enhanced our service with 6 lanes, 85 bays, and 65 techs. Enjoy the new lounges with all of the comforts and extras. And now get 0% for up to 72 months on 100% of all new 24 and 25 Toyotas. Come see your all-new Toyota Direct, the area's #1 Toyota dealer.
0% for 72 on a new 24 Tundra with approved credit. Max financed MSRP on vehicle. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock by 10/31/24. See dealer for details.
Just how liberal could Sherrod Brown be? What are his actual votes?
Well, he backed bills to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports and let transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms.
Very liberal.
Brown supported allowing children to receive puberty blockers and even sex change surgery.
Super liberal.
And worse, Brown even voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions, a procedure where the baby is partially delivered alive. That's right. Brown's votes for partial birth abortion are in the congressional record. And Sherrod Brown voted to allow this terrible procedure not once, not twice, but 6 different times over 8 years.
That's radical liberal.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's just way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BREAK to 321-321. That's BREAK to 321-321.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 2 restaurant locations in Grandview and Gahanna. Drink local, drink High Bank.
All right, here's what's up on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Yesterday during our show, Devontae Adams was traded to the Jets. Yesterday afternoon, after we were done, out of the blue, the Browns traded Amari Cooper to the Buffalo Bills. We'll get to compensation. We'll get into what could be happening here. Tyvis, I'm going to lean on you. You've been in these rooms.
Yes.
This is a 1-5 football team. There's a lot swirling around this team at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
They did right by Cooper in terms of transitioning his money, getting him guaranteed. There wasn't a future for him in Cleveland after this year.
Right.
But if you're in that room and you get the news that Amari Cooper is being traded, what goes through your mind?
They packing it in. they pack. No, to be honest with you, there's a lot of different ways. When you first see it, you know, first of all, you got to know, you have to be in that locker room because we don't know what that relationship has been. It seems like it went sour because after he got traded, he then went to IG and he said, "Move or rust."
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny because I'm like, okay, now Amari Cooper is a very quiet guy. You know, he doesn't say a lot. Now in the locker room, he might say a lot. He jokes around a lot in the locker room, but to the public, very quiet guy. Don't say a lot. When you interview him, he's a man of few words. You know, he's very philosophical in some of his answers and things like that. So twice this season, he's done things this year where I was like, he never does that. And it all is around trades. When he was rumored to be traded to the 49ers, he comes out, I don't mind the trade at all. I don't mind the trade. Or
okay, can I give
said.
context to that?
Yeah.
So the deal for Ayuk that they were working on in July did not include Amari Cooper.
Okay.
So when he was interviewed and said, I don't have a problem with the trade, the idea of the trade was to pair him with Brandon Ayuk and with Jerry Jeudy.
Okay.
It was to have all three of them. So I think that got misconstrued a little bit, his tone, because his tone was like, I don't mind the trade at all. And people were like, well, he wouldn't mind being traded to the Niners. By the way, nobody would mind being traded to the 49ers.
That's what I was saying. I was like, if Cooper's a part of it, that's what he should want.
His context was that he was going to be playing with Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
So that got misconstrued a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, because then everybody was talking about he was a part of the trade. So
right.
I was like,
a lot of people had that.
Of course he wouldn't mind going to the 49ers. Like, that's what I would want too. So that was one. And then the second one was obviously this one. And like I said, I don't know what's going on in the locker room, but if I'm a part of that locker room, I'm thinking to myself, okay, business side, they're not going to keep him. So they're getting something essentially for him. Secondly, it seems like it wasn't working on the field for some odd reason. I said to a couple of people, it looks like Baker and Odell. Like, Amari Cooper and Deshaun, for some odd reason this year, it looked like they just couldn't get on the same page. Not saying that, and Coop, a lot of it had to do with Coop dropping the passes, but when them choice routes became a thing, they kept not seeing it the same way, and I think it's a lot of frustration with that. So that's why I think it caused them to look like that. But as a player of the Browns, I'm thinking to myself, that was literally our best wide receiver that y'all got rid of. Like, so y'all don't believe in it anymore. And that's where my mind would be.
You're 1-5, and you got worse for this year.
Yes.
You cannot argue that you're better today without Amari Cooper than you were yesterday. That's impossible.
And then I thought about this. This is what I wanted to run by you. Everybody was like, well, why did they get rid of fire the whole offensive staff, and why are they trying this new passing thing? Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, do you think, I don't know if you have the answer, but do you think in this situation they thought, okay, Nick Chubb is injured, he's coming back off of an injury, we don't know exactly what Nick Chubb's going to be, so we have no choice but to move more towards a passing attack style, since we're paying this quarterback all this money and all these things. And they wanted to see how it looked, and they seen that absolutely is not going to work. Because last year, even when Joe Flacco was in there, he was throwing for 300 yards. He was throwing the ball 40 times a game as well. The run game, even last year, it was good, but they still leaned heavily on Joe Flacco's arm. So do you think going into this year they wanted that same recipe, but also wanted to change the playbook up to make it more pass style so Deshaun could thrive in that? And once they seen that it doesn't work, now that Nick Chubb is coming back, now they thinking, okay, we can go back to the old style because we will have a run game again.
Two things, several things. So, number one, if you have not read what Nick Chubb wrote in the Players Tribune this morning,
it had me fired
go read
up.
it.
Yeah, it had me fired up.
Go read it.
If you're not a fan of Nick Chubb,
because he don't talk much.
Yeah, if you're not a fan of Nick Chubb, something's wrong with you.
Nick Chubb is a creative player, both in terms of the way he plays and the way he carries himself. Yeah. He is the perfect teammate. He's the perfect person to root for.
Yes.
And the Browns did right by him, and he acknowledged it in terms of they could have just cut him. Mm-hmm. And his agent basically told Nick, I've never seen a team do this. They basically kept you and extended you and gave you money because of what you mean to the organization, what you mean to the fan base, and what you mean to the city. And that's why. Because he was out of guaranteed money with the Browns. Number two, on Nick Chubb. If you think he's going to be what he was, and I'm not someone who ever wants to doubt that guy.
Yeah.
Every tendon, every ligament tendon in his knee has been shredded.
Mm-hmm.
He is not going to be Nick Chubb, as you remember him. He will be a portion of that. How much a portion? How much? I mean, 80% of Nick Chubb is still really, really good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he'll be there, but he ain't going to carry an offense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer your question, the football people in Cleveland, Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, Paul DePodesta, campaigned and wanted Deshaun Watson. Maybe naively, they thought Deshaun Watson would fit into what Kevin Stefanski does offensively. The wide zone, you're very familiar with it.
Yes, I am.
You've seen it many times.
Yes.
It's one of the hardest offenses to defend as a defensive player. Every play looks the same.
Yeah.
You lived it? Yeah. They naively thought maybe Deshaun Watson could play in that system. They realized, even in the truncated 2 seasons that he had played there, that he's not comfortable doing that. He's not comfortable turning his back to the defense, flipping his head and spinning it to somebody who is designed to be open. He's not comfortable there. So what they said is, what do we have to do to get this guy to play the way that he did in Houston? All right, we got to go shotgun. That's why they brought in Ken Dorsey. Obviously, they never wanted to replace Bill Callahan. They didn't. I mean, he went with his son, so that Bill Callahan wasn't going anywhere. But that's why they brought in Ken Dorsey, with the idea of Dorsey was the offensive coordinator in Carolina when they had Cam, and in Buffalo when they had Josh, and both of those big quarterbacks who could run it and throw it thrived in that system. And so it wasn't necessarily we're transitioning to more of a passing team. It was transitioning to we're going to be a shotgun team, because we invested so heavily, both financially and in draft picks, in this guy, and we've got to find a way to get the best out of him. So I don't think it wasn't – they were transitioning out of the offense regardless of Chubb's injury. Whether Nick Chubb got hurt or not, they were going to have to transition to this offense because they had to make sure that Deshaun was comfortable. Here's the problem. They did it all, and he's still not. So they talk today. Kevin talks at noon. Deshaun talks at 1. Good luck.
Yeah. You know what I think, though? I think that the one thing that I think that they're missing, and I think that they thought they had, but I don't think they do, is they still don't have that guy that stretched the field. And I think when you think about, Cam Newton's, and you maybe think about the Josh Allens, they all had some receivers that had some decent wheels on them. Even when you think about Deshaun in Houston, some of his best plays was him scrambling around and chucking it deep to somebody.
Kenny Stills.
Yeah, like all of those guys.
Yeah.
And when you look at this wide receivers core for the Browns, that's, to me, for a year. They had Marquise Goodwin, Marquise last year, but he was obviously in and out of the lineup. But that, to me, has been the one thing that they're missing. They thought they was going to get it with Schwartz. Obviously, that was a fail. And it's still, to this day, they don't have that guy that makes defenses, DBs in particularly, back up.
That's one way to put it. The other way to put it is the quarterback that you invested all the first-round picks and $250 million in is broken.
That too.
That's the other thing. Too. And I'm telling you what, when they walk into that locker room today and that team reports, because they're off yesterday, Tuesdays are off of the NFL.
Yeah.
And they walk in, and you got to look around that room. You did the Odell Baker thing. You brought up that analogy.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what happened when that happened? The locker room said, wait, you're trading who?
Yeah, they sided with
You're trading Odell?
Yeah.
You're trading him?
Yeah.
That's how bad it was with 6 then at that time.
Yeah, and they just replaying it all over again.
And so, yeah, there's going to be people in that room going, wait, you're him? You think he's the problem? You think Amari's the problem?
Yeah, I know. I just think, when I seen him go to Buffalo, I said, I got him on my fantasy team.
You win.
I like it. I like his chances in Buffalo as far as fantasy goes for me.
Yeah, certainly he wins on that side of things. We had baseball last night. It is a pretty good hole for the Cleveland Guardians. I am very curious in terms of what baseball is doing with some of the scheduling. We'll get into all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is as strong as ever, so come see us.
Choose from Ohio's largest selection of Hondas and get 0% for 60 on any new CR-V, HR-V, Passport, Pilot, or Ridgeline with the trade.
Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
0% with approved credit and 80% of MSRP financed. 2010 or newer trade with KBB appraisal at $2,500 or more. Must take delivery from dealer stock 10/31/24.
From the mind of a 2-foot-tall talking spokes puppet comes this year's biggest challenge. It's time for Bob's Dare to Compare, the hottest game show on TV that asks, what happens when you compare Bob's to the competition? You get style. You get quality. You get beeps and boops and dings and whomps. And thousands of dollars in savings. Everyone's a winner when you dare to compare with Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop in store or at mybobs.com to play now.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. Eventually. How about right now? Trust and Will makes the process of creating your will easy. Like while you're lounging on the couch, easy. Visit trustandwill.com and use offer code Columbus for 10% off your plan. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, one question at a time. Trust and Will offers a step-by-step process, and all documents are state-specific, legally valid, and secure, so you know your future is protected with peace of mind at trustandwill.com. Visit trustandwill.com and use offer code Columbus now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trustandwill.com. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney. Documents are not valid until formally executed in accordance with applicable law.
Football season is here, and we have so much stuff. One station isn't enough. Find even more Pigskin on ESPN Columbus.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2, or listen on the Fan app.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+, subject to program terms at dooutdoors.com and 12/31/24, void or prohibited.
There's always time for the drive-thru deal. Because no matter how fast you are at making breakfast, McDonald's is faster.
Wake up to McDonald's breakfast and mix and match a classic sausage McMuffin, delicious sausage burrito, or crispy hash browns. Get any two for just $3. Order ahead in the app and pick up curbside. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Want to know anything about the Fan's contests, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Reese, Browns fan, Guardians fan. How we doing, buddy? How's
hanging in there?
It's not been a good. Usually, I would say we could fall back on the Buckeyes, but I can't say that this week. Right
I'm like the cat on the tree branch, just hanging in there.
Just hanging in there, brother. Yeah, yeah, it's a brutal day. Brutal day, obviously, with the trade of Amari, and I'm really fascinated to hear how they justify that today. I know what they're going to say is that, look, we got, and quite honestly, just from a transactional standpoint, they traded a 5th-round pick for Dallas for the only back-to-back 1,000-yard receiver the franchise has ever had. Yeah, ever, folks. And then they got a 3rd back 2 years later. So from a transactional standpoint, it wins. In the room, I think it's going to lose. I think it's a loser for the fan base, and I think it's very tough to sell it and to say that you're still with a straight face trying to win this season. I think that's a very difficult test. Go ahead, Reese.
So Rocchio has his error in the bottom of the first inning. Brian Rocchio, Guardian shortstop.
Yes. Yeah.
And right as that error happens and the Yankees go up 1-0, I see a video on my Twitter timeline of Amari Cooper pouring slime on Joe Flacco.
I saw that too.
So that's how my night, was from a non-Blue Jacket standpoint. That was kind of the pride I had for my city, for the Jackets fans, for everything else, overshadowed all of that.
Yeah.
Do you? Don't even think about it. I'm just going to put you guys. I'm going to give you guys both. I'm going to just say first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. If Joe Flacco is the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns from Game 1, what is the record right now?
Oh, at least 3-3.
Yeah, I was going to say 3-3.
Minimum, right?
Yep.
Yeah, minimum. I think that's fair.
Wait, let me ask you this. Did the offense change, or is it still last year stuff?
Well, if you had Flacco, you would just run last year.
Why change it?
I'm just asking. I'm just asking for this exercise. That's important.
No. The notion of the idea that, it's a little bit of kind of like what when even Ryan and he brought in Chip, and so obviously they're running the same stuff, but it's like, wait a second, you hired this guy for his offensive play calling acumen, and now you're not doing the stuff you hired him for. Yeah. That's what they're doing in Cleveland. Yeah. Stefanski's one of the best play callers, play designers in the league, and he basically said, yeah, let's throw all of that away and make this so that we can get this quarterback to work. That's what happened. That's how that went.
Yeah.
All right, this is what it feels like to me watching the Yankees and the Guardians. And I'm going to give you. Everybody knows I didn't watch baseball. Didn't watch it this summer. I was aware of it, paid a slight bit of attention, but wasn't watching it. But I've been watching for the last couple of weeks. It feels like David versus Goliath.
The sad part, Bo, is it feels like that. It's not that, though.
Isn't it?
It's the fact that the Guardians are scared of the G word. You know what the G word is?
There's a lot of them.
Great. They're scared to be great. Listen, they keep teetering with it. They're teetering with it right now. Eric, you watched it. They got the bases loaded.
Twice.
No outs. And get nothing. They get 2 runs off of one. And then you got 2 on. You got Jose, your best hitter, coming up, and nothing. That's the thing. Right now, the biggest difference is that the Yankees' best players are showing up and making the plays. Our best players are not. That's it. Simple, plain and simple. Jose, I know he had a home run, but guess what? It was a solo. It was a solo shot.
6-2. Come on.
We needed that back when you had 2 on or when the bases was loaded. Those are the moments where you have to step up, and we're just not doing it. We got the role player guys. Rocchio. Quan ain't a role player. He's playing well. Jimenez, all of these guys is doing well. Mm-hmm. The stars are the ones that's not outside of Quan. The stars are not showing up.
Well, it's even when the role player guys aren't producing and your stars aren't producing, then you've got just nothing. And this has been a problem that's plagued this team the entire year. That they've been runners in scoring position in moments you need to have it. Guys aren't showing up. And I think Naylor had his first run.
Yeah, he did.
And what felt like forever last night, but it was a sacrifice fly. And so guys like that, when you need them in those kind of moments, they're not there. And for the Yankees, they're there.
Aaron Judge.
Okay, let me just say this. You said their stars are performing, yours aren't.
Correct.
They've got more stars.
Well, yeah.
Yes. That's not the point,
okay,
though.
No, that is the point. That's absolutely the point.
So now the money part comes into it.
No, it's not the money. Of course it's the money. It's all of it. But is it possible, and follow me in this analogy, that the Cleveland Guardians as an operation are similar to the Baltimore Ravens as an operation? Now, follow me through this. Most people would say, and I would argue, that the Baltimore Ravens are one of the most difficult teams to play in the regular season because it's different every time out. Mm-hmm. But when you get to the postseason and you can prepare just for them, there's a ceiling on what they can accomplish. Similarly to the Cleveland Guardians, they are so professional as an organization that they win time in and time out because they have such a professional approach. They have such organizational depth. But when it comes to playing in the postseason, and I look at them and I look at the Yankees and I'm like, these two things ain't the same, brother. They're not. They go Soto, Judge, Stanton. Like, what are you kidding me? You guys are talking about Josh Naylor?
Hey.
Also, what are we doing?
Wait a minute. We got Quan.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Wait a minute. We got Quan.
Stop.
Rocchio's been playing well.
Stop it.
Lane Thomas.
Stop.
Jose, Josh. What?
You see the difference. One is Moneyball, little engine that could, and one is Behemoth. Now, you can beat Behemoth. You can slay Goliath. David can put a pebble in a slingshot and slay him. It happens. Right? But over a 7-game series, I just feel like this is insurmountable.
Bo, last night was theirs for the taking. I don't care what nobody said. Yes, you had the bases
I think the margin
twice.
is so thin. I think the margin is so small.
And they did that against Garrett Cole. Like, they had to. It was there.
That's what I mean. Everything went well for them, and they still lost.
Don't say that, Bo, because now you make it.
That's what happened.
No,
that's just where I'm at.
I don't like the way you put it, though.
I'm sorry.
I don't like the way it went. You've got game 3 tomorrow, so.
By the way, 4:05, really? 4:05? What is baseball doing? Middle of afternoon games during the week?
Yeah.
It's such a strange call. I don't get it. You're going to get this. College football, a lot of you watched it over the weekend. We'll do a little higher or lower second hour coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
When that alarm clock goes off, Morning Juice comes on. The perfect way to dominate your day or just lay around the house. Morning Juice.
Weekdays at 6.
The Fan.
Buckeye Country Superfest 2025, Saturday, June 21st, Ohio Stadium, one night only. Headlined by Jelly Roll and Kane Brown.
Yeah, that's how I get.
With special guest Megan Maroney, Treaty Oak Revival, Dasha, Connor Smith. Register for pre-sale access now at BuckeyeCountrySuperfest.com. Tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m.
Breaking news. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
There's a place where mishaps don't mean missing out. Welcome to AAA's The Plus Side, where a AAA Plus membership means that an empty gas tank won't keep you from a full day. Where a flat tire doesn't have to deflate your mood. Where being locked out doesn't mean you'll be out of luck for long. And where a dead battery can't stop you from being the life of the party.
Looks like you're all set here. Have a good rest of the day.
Because on the plus side, roadside mishaps don't have to ruin your day. With AAA Plus, you're covered with the gold standard in roadside assistance, whenever and wherever you need it. Tire changes, battery swaps, and emergency fuel are just a tap, click, or call away. AAA gets to you faster, and if you need a tow, we'll take you further, anywhere within 100 miles. Become a AAA Plus member today and experience the peace of mind that comes when you live on the plus side. Towing is subject to a 7-day waiting period. Terms and conditions apply. Service is only available from AAA and CAA in North America.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. Fall is here. It's the perfect time to replace those old, drafty windows before the cold sets in. As temperatures drop, you don't want to be stuck with windows that make your heating system work overtime because that will cost you money. My guys at Universal Windows Direct back everything up with a true lifetime warranty as long as you own the home and a 20-year warranty to the next homeowner. Plus 0% financing for 60 months. Restrictions apply because they always do. Call them today, 614-502-5220 or go to uwd.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Your weekend freebie is free Kroger brand 12-pack seltzer water. Simply clip your digital coupon and spend $50 or more Saturday or Sunday. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BREAK to 321-321. That's BREAK to 321-321.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reese. The Blue Jackets honored Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew last night at Nationwide Arena. Gaudreau's number 13 now hangs in the rafters. It was opening night Tuesday as the CBJ hosted the Florida Panthers. The defending Stanley Cup champions got the 4-3 win. Jackets had a chance in the closing minutes after James Van Riemsdyk pulled the home team to within one. CBJ are back on home ice Thursday against Buffalo. In baseball last night, the Yankees beat the Guardians 6-3 in Game 2 of the ALCS. New York leads the best of 7, 2-0. Cleveland's going to host Game 3 on Thursday. The National League Championship Series is tied at a game apiece. The Mets will host the Dodgers tonight in Game 3. First pitch there, 8:08. And in the NFL, the Browns traded receiver Amari Cooper to the Bills yesterday for a third-round draft pick. Cleveland will host Cincinnati this Sunday at 1 p.m. This update sponsored by Dormar Heating and Air Conditioning. Need an emergency repair? Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarheating.com.
Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Nice second hour here on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Get your Hey Guys questions into Reese at 971BFS, and we will answer those coming up at 11 o'clock. Tyvis here as well. Jake Trotter coming up at 10:33. You have that to look forward to, which is very nice. He was out in Eugene. Also, some monster numbers coming in on the college football thing. We'll get into that coming up at 10:20. Jake Diebler is on Juice. Hear from him as well. Between now and then, though, we play a little higher or lower. Hit it, Reese.
Bishop and Friends present Higher or Lower.
Sponsored by The Waterworks. The Waterworks, your undefeated team of plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling. Call 614-232-2222 today.
This week's Higher or Lower comes to us from the AP poll. Week 8, or I guess another improvement week for college football. Ohio State is on the bye. At number 1, the University of Texas. Longhorns getting 56 first-place votes. At number 2, Oregon. Ducks are getting 6 first-place votes. At number 3, Penn State. Number 4, Ohio State. Number 5, Georgia. Higher or lower there?
Wow.
Georgia. Man.
Texas is the best team I've seen.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Texas is the best team I've seen this year. And they might be, I don't know. I would have loved to have seen Arch play the Oklahoma game, so I could have had some apples to apples, because I saw Quinn play against Michigan, and he did anything he wanted to do. Arch played lesser competition and was great. Quinn was rusty to start and then really got going as it went along. I think Texas is the rightful number 1. Oregon is the clear number 2. That for sure. Now, where it gets interesting is, and this is the nuance of a conversation, what do we do with Penn State? You give them credit for being 6-0, but did you guys watch them against SC? Aller threw 3 picks in the game. They won,
thanks to
but
that
I think
tight
USC's
end.
not much.
It took a tight end to go over 200 yards.
200 yards.
To win a game.
Right.
And the run game, actually give SC credit. It wasn't that crazy. And SC probably should have won that game. What?
You did win.
Winning is important.
Yes.
Winning is important. Eye test-wise, no, they don't look like the number 3 team. However, they play in one of the toughest conferences. They've won every game that they played.
Yeah.
it's hard for me not to say, like, yes, when they're obviously the big test is when they play OSU. That's going to be the big test. Mm-hmm. But as of right now, as it stands, if I want to be fair, if we're going to be fair, then yes, you leave them at number 3. But I just don't think they're going to stay there. Like, I think that obviously they're going to play OSU. They might lose. They're probably going to lose that game.
No, they better lose that game or else.
And then the Georgia Texas thing, like, obviously that's this weekend. I think I might go with Georgia. They're going to be desperate.
Georgia already has the loss at Alabama. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine that? Like, think about what the SEC did with Georgia. They made them go to Tuscaloosa in September, and now they got to go to Austin in October. And they still got to play Tennessee.
I'm not worried about Tennessee.
I'm just saying. Like,
Tennessee had their moment when they had Hendon Hooker and they did that's it. That was the hype for them. It's not happening again. I'm just telling you, it's not happening.
I think that the top 5 is the right 5. Yes. I think it's one thing that's really cool that the AP is doing this year is, like, for example, what they did with Ohio State. Ohio State went from 2 to 4 with a tough loss at Oregon. That's the way you do a ranking.
I agree.
Is you say, hey, that's a quality team you went out and played. So you mismanage the last 30 seconds, or maybe you win there, and then maybe you're the number 1 team in the country. Let's not drop you to 7.
So what they did to Alabama, that's right too. Losing.
They did the same thing with Alabama when Alabama lost to Vanderbilt.
1-7.
They went 1-7,
and that's correct.
I do think that because they still beat Georgia. Bama was up 30-3 on Georgia.
So do you think it's
that happened too?
So let me ask you this: do you think it's fair that Georgia's in front of Alabama?
That's such tough because
I know because they beat them head to head.
They did. Here's why I'm okay with it, because the Alabama win over Georgia was in Tuscaloosa, and Georgia came all the way back.
That's true. Yeah.
So I give them some credit, and people hate hearing this crap, but heck, we're just applied it to Ohio State. I give them some credit for the quality of the loss.
Okay.
Just like Ohio State deserves that same amount of grace for the quality of their loss to Oregon. So if I'm going to give us the credit for the quality loss, then I got to do the same thing with Georgia. Okay. I think these are the correct 5 teams. If I was putting anything that mattered to me on the line, I would not take Penn State over any of the others.
I agree with you.
And I think they might get housed, honestly. I think they might lose by 2 scores.
I'm going to be honest with you. When I watch Penn State, like, offensively, they've gotten better. They've got some guys that can contribute in the passing game. My issue with them is I just don't trust their corners. I don't know why I have this feeling that if they go up against a heavy passing attack, like Ohio State's receivers, I think that they're going to get some money on that game.
I don't trust their coach.
That too.
Coming in at number 6 in the AP Top 25 poll heading into Week 8 of the college football season, a team without a loss, the 6-0 Miami Hurricanes. At 7, Alabama. At 8, LSU. At 9, Iowa State. At 10, Clemson. Higher or lower for those 5?
I tell you what, I think we might. We joke and laugh about Dabo's demise. They look pretty good ever since that first loss to Georgia where they got routed. But that's the first game of the season too. I think I'm starting to come around on Clemson, and I know a lot of Buckeye fans hate hearing that, but listen, look, out of these 5 that he just named,
yeah,
Clemson and LSU looks the most solid out of all of these.
I think it's fair. It's interesting. Up until the last 2 losses to Michigan, my kids hated Clemson more than Michigan.
Yeah,
because they took more from them.
They did.
Yeah,
Clemson took something from me, and I hate them for that. They out of my 4 losses, they beat me once.
Yeah, they were a thorn. Here is the Miami schedule, fellas. I don't know if you've taken a look at this. Miami goes at Louisville, Florida State at home, Duke at home, at Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, at Syracuse.
So they're going.
That's their next 6.
So they're going.
That's what I'm telling you. They do not play Clemson in the regular season. They do not play my ponies from SMU in the regular season. Conversely, Clemson goes Virginia, Louisville, at Virginia Tech, at Pitt. Pitt could be
tricky.
Then they got Citadel and South Carolina. Okay? So if you talk about who's going to get one of the buys out of the ACC, the question is who's going to play in that game. SMU goes at Stanford, at Duke, Pitt, Boston College, at Virginia, California.
Have they lost yet?
They have not lost a conference game, and Pitt has not lost a conference game. So Clemson, Miami, Pitt, and SMU are all undefeated in conference. Clemson's the furthest along at 4-0. The ACC is going to get 2 in because they don't play each other.
Yeah.
And that's not something I thought for sure. In terms of where these rank, Iowa State deserves some love at 9. I'm cool with that. I don't think LSU should have gone from 13 to 8 on beating Ole Miss at home in about as fortunate a way as you could. If you watch that game, that's a 4th in the season throw that Garrett Nussmeier makes, and they put it into overtime, and then they win it in overtime. You don't get credit for beating an Ole Miss team that I don't think's all that good.
You got him as a first-round talent?
Which one?
LSU's quarterback?
No.
Okay. I had seen a mock. I seen a mock where he was in there, and I was like, is he really that good?
Maybe in a bad quarterback draft. I think they got receivers who are ones.
Yeah, well,
that Lacey kid can go.
They've been doing that for some years now.
Yeah, they got guys.
Yeah,
That's the only one I take umbrage with. LSU shouldn't have gone from 13 to 8.
So who's 11, out of curiosity?
Tennessee.
I like LSU over Tennessee. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have put them at 8, but I'd have put them at 10 for sure.
Well, go ahead, Reese. Go to the next grouping.
So you got the Volunteers at 11, at 12 Notre Dame, at 13 BYU, who's 6-0, 14 Texas A&M, 15 Boise State, 16 6-0 Indiana.
Notre Dame is being a little bit disrespected here. They basically nobody knows what to do with them, right?
They lost. They had a terrible loss.
They had a terrible loss, but so did Alabama. Now theirs was at home, and I get it, but like Notre Dame's just kind of stuck at 12, and I think they're better than, for example, Tennessee. Texas A&M has gotten it.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, they won at A&M.
You think?
I do think. I would take Notre Dame over Tennessee right now.
And I'm not even a big Tennessee fan. I think it'll be a really good game.
Reese, you tell me, is Mr. Powell here? Has he turned into an SEC homer?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like
happened?
it.
Wait a minute.
What happened
First
here?
of all, don't you accuse me of that.
Traitor.
What happened here?
Don't you?
What the hell happened here? I mean, this is...
I'm just saying.
For the longest time...
I'm just saying that I think Tennessee would beat Notre Dame. I do.
He spent too much time in West Lafayette, and it soured him on the Big Ten. That's what I think it is.
Y'all sick today.
That would sour
It would
anybody.
really sour anybody. Like, what is this conference?
Just saying.
24 hours in West Lafayette takes a lot. Takes a lot out of it.
I don't even like Tennessee.
No, you love them.
No, I don't. I think they're overrated.
I got one I want to run by you two. Michigan 24. You sure?
That's because people don't want to accept their demise. I think that's what it is. People truly, I tell you what, they got a good test. I'll be there this weekend. They go against Illinois at Illinois. I'm covering that.
You got to go to Champaign. There's another one.
Wait a second. You're doing you've already done West Lafayette. Now you got to go to Champaign?
Yeah.
You get hazard pay?
It's a good game.
You ain't going to see the sun. I'll tell you that.
I know.
Here's the schedule for Michigan. At Illinois, then Michigan State at home, then Oregon at home, then at Indiana, then Northwestern, then at Ohio State. That's the schedule.
They could get 3 more losses.
I also want to give a little bit of love. I know we're up against it. I want to give a little bit of love for Fick. They found back who they are. Did you see their rushing totals the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, that Tyree
at Wisconsin.
That Tyree Walker dude is.
Yeah.
Woo! Because they lost Malusi. And that Walker dude, that's a Mack truck right there.
But they ain't throwing it 60 times. No. They're running the football.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Reese.
So the Badgers have number 2 Oregon and number 3 Penn State on that schedule.
They get Penn State in their place the week before we go to Happy Valley.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And they host
That'd be a good one for Luke.
Oregon on November 16th.
Oh,
yeah, Oregon's schedule.
Be chilly.
Yeah. All right, college football, and one thing that I'm noticing in the ratings, now we have a couple of weeks of this that I did take note of, and I think it fills into a conversation we're going to have later in the show. We'll get to that, plus Jake Diebler's on Morning Juice. What do you expect out of your Buckeyes? That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. Just freak the hell out of someone. The Fan.
This is Bob Capace, owner of Worthington Jewelers. Our fall bridal buy one, get one half off sale is ending this weekend. Select the perfect ring from thousands of styles or create a one-of-a-kind ring of your dreams. Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
Shop low prices and great deals all week long at Meijer. Buy 5 or more and save $5 or more on hundreds of items across the store, like General Mills cereal, Swanson broth, and 12 packs of Coca-Cola or Pepsi products. Plus, shop our huge selection of Halloween items for spooky good savings. Get 25% off Halloween costumes and buy 2, get 1 free Halloween snack or jumbo-sized candy. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
This is Ryan Krieger, and at Krieger Ford, we know life's busy. Let us handle your car care. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or have our technicians come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today, only at KriegerFord.com.
Hello, I am a serious announcer hired to deliver a serious announcement. Get an Apex Pros winter tune-up for your furnace right now for only $29. Notice we are simply giving you the facts. Just $29 to make sure your furnace is ready for the upcoming Ohio winter. We know how you enjoy our usual fun and funny commercials. Hello? Beg pardon? Well, I see no reason to bring my mother into this. Good day to you, sir. Where was I? Oh, yes. A $29 tune-up will make sure your furnace runs safely and warmly all winter. That's serious. I'm serious. That's why we're not doing the usual that you've come to expect from Apex Pros. None of this or this nonsense. $29 for a furnace tune-up from Apex Pros. The pros who knows? Knows? Is that really how you say it? The pros who
Apex Pros, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Here at The Fan, we give you 14 hours of live and local programming every day. We care about you. We live and work in your community, except Bo Bishop. He won't tell us where the hell he is. Your live and local station, except Bo. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every single night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I get it. But there are alternatives to the CPAP machine, and Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and stops your snoring. What a concept. It's quick, comfortable, and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and he has a track record to prove it. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. And as the end of the year approaches, a lot of people have exceeded their medical deductibles, which means less out of pocket for you. Don't delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Or you can visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Just how liberal could Sherrod Brown be? What are his actual votes?
Well, he backed bills to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports and let transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms.
Very liberal.
Brown supported allowing children to receive puberty blockers and even sex change surgery.
Super liberal.
And worse, Brown even voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions, a procedure where the baby is partially delivered alive. That's right. Brown's votes for partial birth abortion are in the congressional record. And Sherrod Brown voted to allow this terrible procedure, not once, not twice, but 6 different times over 8 years.
That's radical liberal.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's just way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Longing for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding thin and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume from New Nordic.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Time now to check in on the weather report. Today, we are looking at cloudy skies, a few showers from time to time, high 54. Clear and cold tonight, temperatures dipping down to close to freezing. Heading into your Wednesday, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, highs in the mid-50s. The sunshine is back on Thursday. Temperatures will be rising up to about 62 Thursday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
And we are sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without the medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Jake Diebler was on with the Juice Bringers for a while, several segments. Good listen. Look, we're about ready to kick this thing off. This is a guy who's never been a head coach before, who we know very, very well. We love the family, and we love the ties to the state of Ohio. But in terms of what this is going to look like, we just have the sample size of last year when he was the interim head coach. So one of the things I was curious about, and the fellas asked him this, what does a Jake Diebler-led Buckeye team look like over the course of a full season? Here's what he had to say.
I've tried to evaluate this through the lens of like what will make our former players proud in combination with, what I believe we need to do to win, right? But I think when people watch us play and they see us play, they're going to see a level of pace to us offensively, both after makes and misses. They're going to see an urgency that we play with and an aggressiveness, both offensively and defensively. One of the reasons we were able to be successful down the stretch of the season was we were able to turn teams over more, and we were a little more aggressive defensively. That helped us get out, in transition more, helped our pace was significantly faster at the end of the season. We now have a full, off season to kind of prep and build our system around that. But we don't want to be reckless either. We want to play with poise. We want to make sure we're striving to be efficient. But there's going to be a competitiveness, a toughness, and an urgency and aggressiveness that we play with that should tell our guys, like, people should be able to turn on the TV or come into the shot and say that, man, those guys play really, really hard and tough.
You know what I think, fellas? I think that sounds like everything anybody would want.
Yeah.
Like, is that right? Because, look, this is all your entertainment dollar. Am I entertained? Is this fun basketball to watch?
Mm-hmm.
And fun basketball is fun basketball to play.
Yeah.
Like, if it's fast, it's fun to play. So players like that, too. So that's a little bit of music to my ears, Tyvus.
Yeah, I was thinking about, because he came in like last year. I was on the Buckeye show, and he came in, and we asked him the same thing. And he said, ever since I've played, while I played, I was always a push-to-pace guy. And I kept thinking about, like, that's fun. Like, think about this. You got some of these guys that can jump out the gym now. Like, if I go to the shot and I go watch this and I see a team that's pushing the ball and they get down the court, the big man getting down the court, they throwing oops to each other. Like, listen, I wouldn't miss a game. I wouldn't miss not one game. And that is really good, really good basketball to watch. And then we talk about tough being in guys' face, like maybe a little trash talking, just the energy that it brings. Like, you get a crowd behind that, you can make the shot one of the scariest places to play at. You
can't.
I mean, it's scary.
It's scary, and that it's not a bad building.
Y'all need to stop. Y'all got what is wrong? Y'all are the SEC homers. That's everything I try to say good. No.
That is a bad building. You do the best you can with it.
I'm just saying.
You can't change it.
You can make the atmosphere scary.
You could try.
I'm just anti-playing basketball in a crypt.
Yo.
Hey, let's think about this for a second, because we're going to have to, and one thing we always do, and I'm not ready to go here yet, but one thing we always do with the teams we talk about is, what's the standard? What are we going to hold them to? Are we going to hold them to, and the last couple of years with Holtman, it was make the tournament, get to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And that didn't get done, and that's why he's not here anymore. And so this team looks like one that, to me, should be in the mix. I don't think they're a team that can win the Big Ten. Probably not. But they should be in the top 6 of the league. And if you're in the top 6 of the league, that means you're in the top 6 or 7 in the NCAA tournament. And then that means win a round and be punching yourself with an opportunity to get to the Sweet 16. And Jake actually said that this morning with the fellas. They said, what should Ohio State basketball be? And he said, Ohio State basketball should contend in the Big Ten and contend for the second weekend and the third weekend and make a run in March. That's what Thad was, not at his best. At his best, Thad had the number 1 team in the country. That's what he was. But I don't know that that's sustainable here over a long period of time. But you should be in the mix in the Big Ten. You should be able to be a team that can get to the second round of the tournament almost always, and always in the tournament, never miss a tournament, and every once in a while make a run at a Sweet 16 or a Final Four. That should be the requirement.
I mean, think about just some of the people that they got in the portal this offseason.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they went out and got guys like from small schools that was doing well, and now they're trying to make them transition to the Big Ten. No, they went and got kids from Kentucky, guy from Duke, guy from South Carolina. Like, they've got guys that can play really good basketball. And, you know, the portal thing was funny because I heard him talking about Sean Stewart, you know, how they ended up getting him through the fact that when he was in high school, they did a really good job of recruiting him, and he kind of wanted to come to OSU a little bit, but he ended up going somewhere else. And once he hit the portal, they've already established that relationship, you know, with him and stuff like that. So it was interesting to hear that. But from a talent standpoint, like, I know the big concern is, do we have the knockdown three-point shooter? That's like everything. Can we shoot the ball at a high clip? Yeah. I understand that. But I think from a talent standpoint, they can match up with anybody because they got guys that are productive at what they do.
I don't think people know how. They don't. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, Junie Mobley can shoot it.
That is the name that's been buzzing.
Holtman, I remember talking to him last year when they were in the recruiting process. It was a year ago in the summer. And he goes, I understand the hyperbole of it. He goes, Bo, he shoots it like Steph.
That's crazy. Bo, do you know how crazy it is that as a kid growing up, I was always taught to go to the lane or shoot the mid-range. Nowadays, these kids shoot threes. Just shoot threes. Don't you do Little League?
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. Go ahead, Reese.
Well, you're going to get a chance to see and hear Ohio State. They got that exhibition against number 20 Cincinnati Friday at Fifth Third Arena in Ohio's Queen City. It's a 7 o'clock tip, and when Jake was on with the Juice Boys, he talked about him wanting to have them get into that sort of atmosphere before you get into your regular season, which includes games in raucous atmospheres. So not only are you going to get a chance to see Ohio State, see the acquisitions that they made in the offseason, both from a high school and a portal standpoint, they're going to get to play a team that's got a number next to its name in an arena that's going to be raucous. Yeah. Like, that's what Ohio State basketball fans, for the longest time I can remember, have been clamoring for early season matchups against the best in this state.
Well, he talked
step
about
in the right direction.
Yeah, he talked about trying to play with Xavier and Dayton and Cincinnati and all of them playing under one roof. That's awesome. To your point, you know what the little kids do? Tonight I got third grade and fifth grade practice. I'll be at the gym from 6 to 9. Guess what they're going to do as soon as they walk in the gym?
Get the ball.
Let's get some threes up, baby. I had to have a conversation with the threes. I'm like, fellas, you guys can shoot threes. You can't make them. None of you can make them.
Oh, man.
None of them.
Yeah.
But that's it. I had a big last night. He was one of the biggest kids in the fifth grade. We had fifth grade practice. He's running pick and roll with my kid. And he's, instead of going to the rim on the pick and roll when the double went to the ball handler, he pops out.
Yeah.
I said, what are you doing?
Well, you got to be versatile. You can't.
You can shoot the threes, but my God, if there's a layup, brother, go make the layup.
You can't be the traditional big anymore. You got to shoot
Nobody wants
threes.
that. Yeah. Oregon got a big win against the Bucks on Saturday. Jake Trotter was there. We'll go around college football with him coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're running around shirtless because hockey is back. It's Blue Jackets week. Proud to be your flagship home for Jackets hockey. The Fan.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina, and at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
We've seen it before.
Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop. Join us for the Make a Difference Gala at High Bank Distillery in Grandview. Taste new fan barrel picks and support the Third and Goal Foundation. Tickets are on sale now at 971thefan.com. 21 or older, please drink responsibly.
At APCO Windows, there's no 35% off sales, no buy one, get one free, just our best bottom line price. So get multiple estimates. Just make sure one is from APCO.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Welcome, Columbus, to the all-new Toyota Direct. We've expanded our showroom, enhanced our service with 6 lanes, 85 bays, and 65 techs. Enjoy the new lounges with all of the comforts and extras. And now get 0% for up to 72 months on 100% of all new 24 and 25 Toyotas. Come see your all-new Toyota Direct, the area's #1 Toyota dealer.
0% for 72 on a new 24 Tundra with approved credit. Max financed MSRP on vehicle. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock by 10/31/24. See dealer for details.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Columbus, the most wonderful time of the year, is finally here because Blue Jackets hockey is back. See it all and make new memories all season long. Get your tickets today at bluejackets.com.
Finally, fall is here. The leaves are changing, the air is crisp, and the cooler temperatures are a welcome relief. But as those temperatures continue to drop, it's also a reminder that winter is just around the corner. We know it might feel a little early to start talking about freezing temperatures and snow, but now is the perfect time to make sure your roof is ready. Before the winter weather hits, wouldn't you like the peace of mind that your home is protected? If you're unsure about the condition of your roof or just want to be prepared for the months ahead, call the professionals you can trust at Newman Roofing. With over 30 years in business and 3 generations of Newmans in the roofing industry, we're dedicated to educating you about your roof so you understand exactly what's happening. We believe that an informed homeowner can make the very best decision for their needs. Give us at Newman Roofing a call today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Let Newman Roofing help you prepare for winter the right way.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Let me introduce you to a man with a magnificent salt and pepper beard. A man who's currently roasting lamb on a spit. A man who runs the Rocky River Greek Festival. That man is Jake Trotter.
Indeed he is, and he joins on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Bo and Tyvis here with you as well. Normally we do all college football, but you had a front row seat the last few years for how the Browns got to this point, so I know Tyvis and I want to ask you about that as well. But I do want to start with, you were in Eugene. What was the biggest thing, the biggest misconception you had about the way that game would go versus how it did?
You know, there was a lot of focus after the game on the final sequence where, you know, the offensive pass interference on Jeremiah Smith, which I think was, you know, a pretty ticky-tack call in that moment. You know, did he push off a little bit? Sure. But, you know, it was a physical game, especially on the perimeter. And then, obviously, Will Howard's decision to slide with no time left, which ended the game. But to me, the biggest surprise was just how gettable the Ohio State defense was in this game. Particularly, I think two things really stood out. Oregon was able to run the ball pretty effectively. Ohio State didn't force any turnovers, didn't record any sacks. They didn't create any negative plays. And then just different Oregon receivers taking turns, torching Ohio State's number one corner, Denzel Burke. So when you think about the game, like Oregon really left 20, maybe up to 20 points on the board. They had the 4th and goal. They didn't score. Another 4th and goal at the 1. They ended up settling for a field goal there at the end. They missed 2 extra point conversions. They missed a field goal. They had that spitting incident that, it looked like they were going to score a touchdown on that drive. They had to settle for a field goal. So there's a universe in which Oregon is knocking on the door at 50 points. And I just didn't see this Ohio State defense getting up that kind of production to anybody in college football. So I think that was the biggest concern, not giving up on the Ohio State defense. There's a ton of talent there. They can fix it. But if you're asking me what the biggest surprise was, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see Oregon moving the ball up and down the field the way that they did.
Well, Jake, you say all that, and my thing is I don't know how to feel. Like the first few weeks, the first 4 or 5 games, are they more so that? Or is that defense more so of what we've seen in Oregon? Like, where do you fall on that line?
Well, I don't think they're as bad as what we saw in Oregon, but I think it's fair to make the case that what they faced the first month plus of the season, it's just not comparable to the better teams in college football. They just have not played. Who's the good offense they played before Oregon? Yeah. I mean, you're gonna say Iowa, okay, but that's a bottom half of the Big Ten at best. Mm-hmm. And that's with massive improvement from Iowa. So they haven't really been they hadn't really been tested, and I was surprised by how gettable they were. And listen, Oregon's got good players. Dylan Gabriel's awesome. He throws an incredible deep ball. They've got speed and talent at the receiver position. They've got a good back, and their offensive line is good too. Like, this is a good offense. I didn't see Ohio State just getting lit up that way either, even on the road.
Look, we have to, around here, you got to acknowledge the problem before you can fix it. And the problem is when talent equates, this operation has lost more than they've won recently. And that's just the truth of the matter. And so getting over that can be a challenge because you start to see ghosts, don't you? And you start to hear things like, well, I'm not sure about that. And then it becomes a mental game. Going into it, I thought Dan Lanning, Jake, needed to win a game like this. And then the way he handled everything, even including the 12-man penalty, all of it, like he let it all hang out.
He coached like it.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, the onside kick, I mean, I didn't even know that had happened. I was like, I didn't see that coming. And I think Ohio State was sort of ready for it, but they just couldn't execute, the recovery. Listen, I'm not ready to go there yet. I know, a lot of people are bringing up the Michigan losses and the playoff losses. November 2nd. And, Tyvus is not a believer in the Nittany Lions. He's made it clear.
Neither am I.
Neither is Bo. I thought that was a really impressive win for them, going to L.A. and beating a decent USC team.
Stop it. They should have lost the game, and you know it.
Hold on. You asking me today who I'm picking November 2nd in State College, I'm picking Ohio State.
Okay.
But if they lose that game, then what you were just saying, Bo, I'm with you. Then it's like, okay, can we not beat any good teams? Like, we're just going to hammer the scrubs and not be able to beat the best of the best. And you lose to Penn State, it ain't no sure thing you're getting in the playoff at that point. I think you still probably are in good shape, but it's not a lock anymore. And at that point, you're looking at your resume. What's your win? Nebraska, assuming you beat them in a couple of weeks. Like, Ohio State's fine. And I think that, listen, you go on the road, you lose to the number 2 team in the country by a point. You probably should have won if you could have just executed better at the end of the game. Like, I'm not panicking, but they need to come out and play well against a team that they're better than in Penn State, but a team that's certainly not going to be a pushover. And I think Drew Aller's playing well. Tyvus, again, not a believer, but I think Drew Aller's a good quarterback. They've got good backs. They've got a good tight end. Like, it's going to be a test. And I'm interested to see what they do.
Here's the thing where I was going is, how does a program not make, kind of the sample size of like talent, how does it not become something that you can't overcome? And you were in Oklahoma, and certainly there was time when you'd say, boy, can Lincoln win a talent equate game? But he had some Texas games that he won. But Bob, towards the end, wasn't that part of the beef? Was like, when talent equates, now Bob won the national title, so he always had that. But there was always kind of, can you win those type of games? And I think it can become almost like a mental block for a program, and I think that's what Buckeye fans are scared of now.
Yeah, no doubt. And Stoops early on in his career, that was what made his career. Is they beat all these teams that they weren't necessarily more talented than. They won with hard-nosed defense and kind of a little bit of luck in some of those fourth quarters, especially during the national championship season. We've seen Texas go through this, where they have all the talent in the world. They can't beat Oklahoma. They can't beat Nebraska. They can't win a big game. It seems like they've turned the corner. I think it's fair to say, we need to see Ohio State beat one of these teams. And what I'm saying is they got one in a couple weeks that a team that you should beat. But I think Penn State's pretty good. I think that'll be a good test, and that crowd's going to be fired up for that game. Presumably, Penn State will still be undefeated, so it'll be number 3 versus number 5, something like that. And then you win that game, I think you all but clinch a spot in the playoff at that point. And, if you can just beat Michigan, then, this still has a chance to be a really special season.
Jake, coming into this season, one of the big concerns was the offensive line. They've been playing well, but obviously in that Oregon game, you had a couple of guys that went down. How big of an impact do you think that makes on the rest of this season?
Yeah, Dane Brugler from The Athletic, before the Oregon-Ohio State game, he actually ranked all the players in the game according to NFL prospects. And I was stunned that he had I think he had Josh Simmons number 1 on the list, or top 3. Mm-hmm. And I had not really thought of him that way, but I guess NFL people have been. So, you're losing an NFL caliber left tackle. And I don't believe they definitively said he's out for the year, right? I know Ryan Day said that it sounded like he was going to be out for the year, but I don't know if they've officially declared it. But assuming he's done, that's a big loss. And you're right, the offensive line has been good. And I thought the offense played pretty well on Saturday. They didn't play their A-plus game, but I think you saw the blueprint for what they want to do. And, they got the backs going a little bit. Jeremiah started making some plays in the second half. Emeka was there throughout. You just got to I think it's going to come back to what we thought it was going to come back to, right, guys? Quarterback in the clutch moments. And the reason you went out and got Will Howard is not because he's going to be C.J. Stroud or Justin Fields as a pro prospect, but because he's played in a bunch of games and brings that kind of experience. And I think that was a little disappointing at the end, that he just made that kind of mistake in that moment. When he took off running, everybody in the press box was like, what is he doing? They're going to lose the game. So, again, everybody's entitled to a mistake or two. I'm not overreacting to the loss. I still think this is a really good team with really good players, and I think they're well coached. But again, the first real test, they didn't pass it. So let's see what happens November 2nd, and then let's see what happens against Michigan. And this is still a team that can win a national championship, but it's not a flawless team. They've got some things to work out, and on both sides of the ball, particularly defensively.
Jake, I'm up against it a little bit, but this is the one, you got about 30 seconds. If you were in the Stefanski press conference today, what question would you ask?
Why do you guys keep starting the quarterback? He gives us the best chance to win. Okay, well, he's the worst quarterback in the NFL this millennium. Can you explain why he gives you the best chance to win? And then my other side question would be, why can't he be on the field if he's so great on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1? Why do you have to take him off the field? I've asked people with the team. Nobody knows the answer to it. I think only Deshaun, Jimmy Haslam, and Kevin know the reason for that. I think it underscores everything that is wrong with that team right now.
Well said, buddy. I wish you were in there. Good talking to you.
See you guys.
Jake Trotter, senior college football writer at ESPN on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Thing or not a thing coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is as strong as ever, so come see us.
Choose from Ohio's largest selection of Hondas and get 0% for 60 on any new CRV, HRV, Passport, Pilot, or Ridgeline with the trade.
Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
0% with approved credit and 80% of MSRP financed. 2010 or newer trade with KBB appraisal at $2,500 or more. Must take delivery from dealer stock 10/31/24.
Football fans, are you ready to score big this NFL season? Hey, it's T-Bone to tell you that Bud Light and 97.1 The Fan have teamed up for the ultimate football face-off. Join us each week for football face-off events and your chance to win a trip to Vegas where you'll compete for the grand prize, a trip for 2 to New Orleans, or the Super Bowl. Drink Bud Light, enjoy the games, and take your shot at football glory. This week, join me on Sunday at Shaker's Public House on Wilson Bridge Road for the Browns-Bengals game. I'll be there from 2 to 4 p.m. to give you a shot at going to the Super Bowl.
We at Rosati Windows think the right way to do business is really pretty simple. You have to be honest, you have to have integrity, you have to care about what you do. Providing a product that we can be proud of, from sales, through manufacturing, through installation, all the way down to when we peel that last piece of film off the window. We're not going to leave your home until everything is right.
Call Rosati Windows today at 777-4806.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
Can't make it to the game? Watch the Fan's pre- and post-game shows live on YouTube. Just search 971 The Fan and click subscribe.
The Fan's YouTube channel is sponsored by Coors Light.
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited Truck Month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
I'll be honest, I'm really worried about my kids and grandkids. I never thought we'd be facing a national abortion ban in this country.
That's Kim. She lives in Cincinnati and is a grandma to 6.
If something happened to my family, I'd want them to have all the help they need. But with a national ban, they'll have nowhere to turn.
Bernie Moreno supports a national abortion ban, and he has said he is 100% against abortion with no exceptions. And if Moreno's in the Senate, he could be the deciding vote to pass a national abortion ban.
Last year, we voted to protect abortion in Ohio. Now, Bernie Moreno wants to get rid of that completely. It's simple. I don't trust Bernie Moreno to do what's right for my family. He should never be Ohio's senator.
Your Community PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Your Community PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Learn more at yourcommunitypac.org.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. After putting up with Tom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Bo Tyvis and Reese with you on a First Friday. Time for a little thing or not a thing. Hit it, Reese.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
On Tuesday, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin was asked about facing the Jets with their brand new receiver, Davante Adams. Quote, I was getting ready for Davante last week. I'm getting ready for Davante this week. But that's life in the National Football League. I'd imagine his acquisition is going to create some news, not only today, but just as it pertains to this game. And I'm respectful of his talents, but I don't imagine that his acquisition changes our approach to this game a whole lot. To be quite honest with you, we're playing an Aaron Rodgers-led group on offense, and that means certain things. End quote. Thing or not a thing?
I mean, it's not a big thing at all. I mean, you know Aaron Rodgers is going to do his thing. He's going to distribute the ball. Difference is that if Davante is playing in this game, obviously he's going to try to get him to, force him a couple of passes. And if they have that chemistry, Bo, like if they got that same stuff that they had, like they'll turn this thing into a one-on-one and just continue to go at. He'll just continue to force feed him. However, you still got Garrett Wilson on the other side, who he was already doing that with. So.
You know why else I think, you can say this if you're Tomlin, and I know we're going to get to his other big news, which was the quarterback side of things here in a second. You can say it because you got TJ Watt.
Yes. You got to get pressure.
You got Minka in the back.
Yeah.
And so what is the one thing that has been an Achilles heel, pun intended, for Aaron? It's been pressure.
Yeah. He's getting sacked.
They're going to Pittsburgh will get pressure on him. Mm-hmm. Now, he'll make plays and Davante will make plays, but I don't think all of a sudden they're going to go he shows up midweek and all of a sudden they're the best offense in football. I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't either.
But
it usually don't work
that way. No, it takes a little while. But I think the reason that Mike can say that is because he's consistent with his team and he knows he's great on defense.
Speaking of the Pittsburgh Steelers, like you said, it looks like Russell Wilson could get the start at quarterback Sunday night against Gang Green. On Tuesday, wide receiver George Pickens was on FS1's The Facility and was asked who he'd like to have start at quarterback, or does it matter?
It really, to me personally, I know the media in the world want to pay me out as like a selfish guy, but honestly, I'm really like the most unselfish guy in the world. So, it really don't, to me, bro, honestly, it really don't matter. They both good players. I know they both got two different playing styles, but they both good players, and, they both get, engineer victory, And really, that's me coming from Georgia, that's like one of the biggest things I only care about, to be honest with you, winning. I think that's really one of the reasons why, Davante was, getting salty or angry, because not only was he not getting the ball, plus losing, everybody's mad, you know what I mean? So they both engineer victory, so yeah. They both good cues.
That's a great thing or not a thing.
What in the hell is he doing on a media tour?
I want to know the same thing.
That's the first thing I thought. What? Why is he on a media tour? This guy's on a pitch count because he doesn't round routes hard all the time, and he's doing a media tour, and he's giving his opinion on which quarterback it's going to be? What are we even doing here, man?
They letting things just... Maybe
Let me just ask you.
When you get older, Bo, typically you relax and you calm down. Maybe that Mike Tomlin's getting older,
Let me just ask you guys this. Why are they moving off of Justin?
I think they would just want to see what Russell does. I think that's what it is. Like, you got him, might as well just see what he got. I think that's what it is. Because I think Justin at least showed you, okay, he's 4-2 right now. The offense is decent. He can still make some plays with his legs. But you don't want this whole season to pass by and not know what Russell could do. So I think that's part of the curiosity is my answer.
Here's what you're risking. And they're willing to do this, Reese. They're willing to risk if Justin can be the quarterback of the future. So it tells me that what they've seen through 6 games is that it's not sustainable over the course of the long term. And they're willing to risk that for the short-term game of Russ. Because Russ is a one-year guy.
Yes.
So they don't view Justin as the long-term guy, or they've seen enough because they're 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to do. They're winning. Like, they're winning with him. Justin, last time out, he had 2 touchdowns on the ground. He wasn't great through the air. He was better earlier in the season, but he's fine. So to me, like, that's what that says to me, Reese.
Interesting to note that it opened with Pittsburgh being a 1.5 favorite. After everything that happened yesterday, the Jets are now a 1.5 road favorite. Again, at Acrisure Stadium. That'll be Sunday night. Yesterday, the NFL had their owners' meetings in Atlanta. Tom Brady's deal to buy a 10% stake of the Raiders was approved. Him and his partner, Tom Wagner, entered into that agreement in May of 2023. So finally, in October of 2024, the owners approved it. According to a report from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Brady is going to have a, quote, much bigger role than people think in the direction of the franchise in all areas of the football side. The report adds the belief is Davis will give Brady a long leash when it comes to making football decisions for the Raiders. Thing or not a thing?
Well, it's a huge thing for that. It's an even bigger thing from the fact that Fox is paying him $30 million a year to be the lead color analyst on NFL games. And I think, honestly, so part of this agreement, I don't know if you guys saw this, was he cannot do pre-production meetings. He cannot go into other teams' facilities. He cannot meet with other teams' coaches. So all of the stuff where you get, like, the background on the teams, he can't do any of that. So honestly, I think it might make him a better TV guy because he'll be pretty fearless. But how could you possibly commentate on the Chiefs, the Chargers, let alone your own team, if those games are ever on your schedule? If he's going to have this huge voice in football, I don't understand how that works.
It seems like he's getting his hands on a lot of different stuff, and I'm happy for him. I tell you what, the fact
he needs a break. He needs a break. It's been tough.
What do you need a break for? he done went through the worst of the worst already. I don't think he needs no break.
I mean, get the guy a break. He doesn't have enough going for him. Go ahead.
Well, just real quick, in an interview with Joe Vardon of The Athletic earlier this week, new Pistons head coach J.B. Bickerstaff says he's not going to allow his players to wear hoodies at practice. Quote, just the last shred of that old school mentality. Just growing up with my dad, you don't wear anything on your head during the game. You don't wear jewelry. You practice how you play. End quote. Thing or not a thing?
You guys tell me, is this a shot at somebody in Cleveland? Did somebody do this? Did Darius Garland or something wear hoodies in practice? I just don't know.
I don't think he did. He's just always been like old school, and he's very strict and stuff like that. Okay. And for Detroit, they need that. I think they need that discipline back in there, and I don't blame him for doing that. You got to earn some of this stuff. And right now, y'all are the worst team in basketball. And JB's done a really good job twice in, I think, his career where he's went to a place that was dead and gone and brought life back into it. And I think that's what he's doing now.
All right, we'll do a little Hey Guys final hour coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Here's a listener tweet. Can I tase Common Man in the nuts? Fine by us, but he may like it. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
APCO, windows, siding, and decks. Business First says we're the largest remodeler in town. Our philosophy is simple. We don't rely on sales gimmicks to get our customers. We rely on our reputation.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Hey, it's Anthony. Do more with your money at Tel-Ohio Credit Union. If you know Tel-Ohio Choice Checking, you know all the perks that come with your account. Cash in your benefits by setting up an account today. Find out more at telohio.org.
Certain restrictions apply. Tel-Ohio is open to all in Central and Southwestern Ohio. Federally insured by NCUA.
Looking for your next Subaru? At Byers Airport Subaru, we give you options from start to finish. Browse and shop entirely online from the comfort of your home at columbussubaru.com or stop by and visit one of our friendly brand specialists just by the airport.
Right now, you can get a new 2025 Subaru Outback for 2.9% for up to 72 months.
Whether you prefer to click or come in, we've got you covered. Your journey starts at Byers Airport Subaru. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 72 months on 2025 Subaru Outback. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 10/31/24.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Save no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC. Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reese. Sir, it's a bye week for number 4 Ohio State. The Buckeyes will return to the Shoe next Saturday, hosting Nebraska at big noon. It'll be homecoming for the 5-1 Buckeyes. OSU's Director of Athletics, Ross Bjork, will join Timmy Hall tonight at 6 p.m. on the Buckeye Show. We'll hear from the head coach of your football Buckeyes tomorrow at noon on the Ryan Day Show. In the NFL, Week 7 begins Thursday in New Orleans. The Saints host the Broncos. Sunday at 1 o'clock, the Browns will host the Bengals. On Tuesday, Cleveland traded wide receiver Amari Cooper to Buffalo for